from Thyroid Solutions. Today we are going to learn about form tags in HTML. So let's begin our class. So in the previous class we have discussed about the table tag in the HTML. So now for today we are going to learn about the form tag in HTML working with. So today's topic we have. Today we are going to learn about the form tag in HTML. So here working with form tag in HTML. So what is this form tag in HTML? So HTML and HTML5, HTML and HTML5 supports form tag. It is a paired tag. It is a paired tag. It is a paired tag. The main objective of form tag is to collect the data or information from the end user and sends it to the server or database or database. So here the syntax of form in HTML is. Let's learn about the syntax of form tag in HTML. That is, first we have to write form, then action we have to provide here. After that, method we have to write. That is nothing but either we can give get method or we can be post method. Okay, guys. So after this, as I said, it is the paired tag. So we have to close form here. So this is the syntax for form tag in HTML. So now let me explain you what is this get and post method. So get method. So this one is get method. So get method in form is used to fetch fetch data from the database fetch data from the databases or database. And what is this post method now? So the post post method in form is used to send data to the database. So this is the post method. So get method and post method. Okay, guys. So now we are going to study about the form has the following components. So now let's learn about what are the different components of the form. So the first component is label. So what is this label? This label this label indicates indicates the data to be filled by the user. The data to be filled by the user, or that we can say that the data to be sent to the database to the database. This is label. So now let's run our VS Code and check how this label works. So let me open my VS Code here. So here on the top CMD, again in the CMD I have to type code space dot to import my folder in the VS Code. So here if you can observe now that here once again I am creating here another file, and the name of the file I am keeping as form tag in HTML dot HTML. So now, yeah, so let me pick the boilerplate here. So here form tag in HTML. So now here I am giving HR. After that, center tag in the center H1 and TT. Here I am giving TTS working with the components, form components. After this, once again, I am giving here an HR to just provide one line space, BR, and again an HR. So now, after this, again, once again, I open the center and now open our form tag. So this one is form tag. Only action is coming here. Now we have to put method. Method is equals to suppose here I am getting as get method. Suppose I am putting a get method just for an example purpose. So here I am putting as label. So label for suppose here, okay, I am making a login form. Let's suppose we are making a login form. So here in this I am putting as username label for username, and here I am providing user name. So now let me give a proper styling to it so that we can know how it appears. So here body, and I am writing background color as then color is equals to here I am writing as width, and text align I am giving as center. So now if I run this code, let's see how our output appears. So now our output is something like this. Okay, so user name. Okay, so now let me put a user name here, user name. So now by looking at this, a user can easily identify that they have to put the username here, which is going to send username to the database. Okay, guys. So now here the next component of a form tag is input tag. Input. Okay, so what is this input tag? Input tag in form input tag is a form component. Form component. It is an unpaired tag. It is an unpaired tag. So guys, unpaired tag means which don't have any pairing. Only opening tag is there, but there is no closing tag. So this is called an unpaired tag. So the main objective of input tag is to read is to read the end user data is to read end user data using text field. Okay guys, so now let's see how we can put the input tag here. So in this example only, after this label tag here, I am putting as input type. Input type is equals to text username, name in place of this name, and ID. I am putting it as, let me remove this name and ID. I am putting it as placeholder. Placeholder. Okay. Okay. So now let me keep this as empty here. Okay. And here, okay, now let's run this code and check what happens at this point. So now if you can see here username, a whitish box is coming which is giving me a space to write anything here. We can type here hello user. Okay, whatever the things we can type here. So input is going to provide me an empty box which allows me to enter the data. Guys, everyone clear this one? Label tag is used to intimate the user that what they have to send to the database, and this input tag is going to provide me a space to write their query or to their data. Okay, guys. So my next thing is the next component we have is placeholder. Placeholder. So what is this placeholder? So this placeholder, it is just it is just an attribute which provides information to the user to the user. Okay, so now what information this placeholder provides to the user, that is, suppose in this input box right now, our input, if I delete this one, our input box don't have anything written here. Okay, so now if I put here that enter the username, suppose here I am writing as enter username. So now if I run this code, so you will observe that in the plain text field, we have text box, we have enter username is coming there. So this is going to provide information to the user that you have to enter a username here. Okay, guys. So now suppose someone forgets this label. Someone forgets to put this label here. Okay. Then also user identified that they have to put the username here. So here suppose someone put developer at the rate 123. Okay, guys. So placeholder is used to provide information to the end user, and label. So label for here I am writing user name, and once again I am providing user name. So now if you see here username and that box is coming once again. So these are the components of a form tag. Okay, guys. So now we are going to work with what is this field set and legend. So now field sets and legends in the form. So here field sets and legends in the form tag. So what is this field set and what is this legends in the form tag? So now till now we have never utilized this field set and this legend. So now let me clear this whole things and cut and paste into our notepad for the further reference. Here after this I'm going to write example 1, and after that I'm going to put here my example 1, After this, field set and legends in the form. So HR here in the center, I am providing H1, then TT, and here I am writing working with form components, working with form component. Okay, so after this H1, once again HR I am giving, BR I am giving, and once again HR I am giving. So now if you observe, our output is something like this only. So now let's work with fields and legends, field sets and legends. So once again I'm going to open the center tag. Here I'm going to write field set. So right now I'm not putting anything inside this field set tag. So now let's see how our data appears. So now if I run this code, so right now if you observe here that this box is appearing, this box, a small rectangular box is appearing, that is this one. So now if I remove the field set here, if I suppose remove this one, you can clearly visualize that there is no square box after these two HRs. After these two HRs, there is no white space, no box is there. Okay. Then if I put this thing field set, then a box is appearing here. Okay, guys. So field set is nothing but a rectangular box. Okay. So now let's see what is this legend. So inside this field set, I am going to provide a legend, and here I am going to write form component, form components. Okay, so now let's check our output that what happens at this point. So now if I run this code here, to see here, form components is coming at the corner of the square box. Okay, guys, so this is field set and this is a legend. Field set provides a square box and a legend provides a heading to that form or that box. So now suppose here at the center, I am going to open a form tag, and in the action I am providing nothing right now, but method I am going to provide it as get. And in the form tag, once again, I am providing label, and label is user name. And here user name I am giving here user name. Here once again at once again here I am providing a input tag. Text is equal type is equals to text. After that placeholder I am providing as enter user name. Enter username. Okay, guys. So now what happens here? Let's check our output, how it looks. So it is something coming like this. Okay, after this square bracket it is coming, but I want under this square bracket only. So let me cut this one and paste inside my field set only. So now let's check how our output appears. Our output is appearing like this. Okay, inside this field set, our inside the field set, our form is appearing. Okay, guys. So now suppose here once again I am providing BR, and here I am giving label password. Input type is equals to text, and here once again I am providing placeholder, and enter your password. So now if I run this code, see how it is coming here. But if I want to provide a gap between the things, so once again I have to give more br here one, and now username password is coming. So after that, suppose here after this I want to make a button, login button. So button tag I have to open, and here I am going to provide log in, log, login, log in, log in. So now if I run this code, login button is coming here, but that login button should come down. So for that purpose, let me go outside the form here, and if you see, login button is coming down. Okay guys, so this was a small form we created right now with the help of the components of the form. So form components, how many components we studied in the form? We studied First, we studied the label that is going to indicate the date, which kind of data, which kind of data is going to be stored in the database or going to be sent to the server. Input tag is a unpaired tag which is going to accept the user input. Placeholder is going to provide information to the end user. These three we studied. After that, we studied about the field sets and legends. So field sets is nothing but a square box, that is this one. This box is called the field set. Legend is nothing but a heading at the corner of the form. So that is my field set. And was my form. This is my label. This is my input, and this is again my label, this is my input, and the text coming inside my input box, that is enter your password, enter username, that is nothing but the placeholder, and this one is the login button. So I hope till now everything is clear. Okay guys, so now we are going to understand how many types of forms are there. So let me copy this code and paste it for the further reference. Let me copy this code and paste it for the further reference. Example 2. Example 2. Okay guys, so in HTML, HTML and in HTML and HTML5, HTML and HTML5, there are three types of forms. Three types of forms. Okay, so the first one we have is inline form. The second one we have is horizontal horizontal form, and the third one we have is vertical form. So inline form. The first one, let's study about the what are these inline forms. So the first one we have is inline. The first one we have is inline form. So let's study about what is this inline form. So okay, let me open my VS Code, and directly we are going to put an inline form there and understand how it works. So this is my VS Code here. So once again, in the body tag, I'm going to provide HR. In this HR, I'm putting center tag. In the center tag, I am putting H1 TT. I am at this point, I'm going to write here inline working with form components, working with form tag, working with form tag. So here once again I'm giving a char, a br, and here one another HR, another HR. So after this center tag, I am going to open another center tag, and here I am going to write field set, because what is this field set? Field set is nothing but the square box. So if I run this code now, so a square box will be appearing on my screen. So that is my field set. So once again in this field set, I am going to provide the legend. So in the legend, I am going to write inline login form, inline login form, inline login form. So now let me open the form tag here, the form tag and action. Right now I don't have any action. So method is equals to I'm giving get or post we can give. There is no problem in that. So once again I am giving here label and username I am giving here, and the label is user name. So now if I give here input, I don't need this name and ID right now. I am giving just a placeholder here, and I am going to write enter the username. BR I am giving here. Once again a BR I am going to give here, and once again here I am going to write label for password, and here also I am going to give as password. Then input is equals to input. I'm giving type is equals to password. Type is equals to password, and placeholder is equals to I'm going to give enter your password. Enter your password. Enter your password. So after that, once again I'm going to give BR here. One more BR. Here I'm going to give input, and type is equals to I'm going to give as submit. This is what I'm creating a button here. Value is equals to I am giving here as login. Login. So now if I run this code, let's see how our output appears. So our output appears something like this. So this is what our output looks like. So username, password, and login. So this is nothing but my inline login form. Guys, getting? I hope everyone is getting till now. Is there any doubt? Okay, guys. So now we are going to provide here. Suppose username enters as Ashu and password A@123 I'm entering. So right now, how we can validate that if username someone enters any special character, suppose @ someone enters or 123 someone enters, but I don't want this @ and 123 in the username field. I just want characters. So how we can intimate the user that the data they are entering that is wrong. So this is called client side validation. So now let's understand what is client side validation. So before that, let me copy the whole code for the reference purpose. So now our next topic here in the form section is HTML and HTML5, HTML5 client side validation. Validation. So now Here, let me write this code once again, how we are going to validate HR here. And in this center, I am going to write H1 and TT. Here I am going to write working with, working with, working with form tag. So HR, then BR, then one more HR. So after that, another center tag I am opening, and here I am going to give field set. Legend I am going to give as, here I am writing inline, inline login form, inline login form, and here I'm opening form, and method I am writing as here get, method here writing as get, and in the form I'm going to write the first label as username, and label here I'm writing username, and here I'm providing user name. After that, input I am giving here, and type is equals to text. Placeholder I am giving as enter username, enter username. Then here I am writing required is equals to, I am giving as required, okay, required pattern, required pattern. So this required pattern is a attribute in the input tag which helps us to identify that whether the user entered the correct data or not. Okay, guys. So my required pattern is, I want that inside the square bracket I have to write, I want user should enter A to Z characters, at least one character I want, at least one character I want, so one. Again, after that I want, once again in the square bracket I am writing A to Z, A to Z, small A to Z. I want this how many times star, within this curly brackets I have to mention how many types I want, and inside the square bracket an underscore I want. Then I want this underscore I want one time, and I want 0 till 9, 0 to 9. How many times I want? Suppose I want 5 times. Okay, this is the requirement I fixed there. So after that, another, let's take another, let me give a BR here for another label, BR. So another label I'm going to create is password, password, and label for password. Once again here I am writing as input type is equals to, my type is password only, password. Placeholder I am writing as, placeholder I am writing as enter your password, enter your password, enter your password. After that, we have to give here required pattern. So required pattern. So what is the required pattern here for the password? I want first alphabets from A to Z I want. At least how many times I want? One time I want. Then here I want an underscore I want. and I want numerical value from 0 to 9. How many times I want? I want at least 3 times. So now if I run this code, and once again I have to make a submit button here. So input type is equals to not text submit, and here I'm writing placeholder as login. Login. So now let me run this code and see what happens here. So now if I run this code, enter username and submit button is coming, but submit button I want below it, below the password. So here I'm giving BR and here also a BR. So my now login button should be down, submit button should be down here. So here once again I am writing suppose username. So as per our requirement, our I have to enter at least one character. So right now here I am entering A, then small a to z, whatever we have to enter here. So suppose S I am entering here, then an underscore, then one underscore is allowed. So I am entering underscore, then five numbers are allowed, 0 to 9. Suppose one I am entering here. So now if I enter the password as 1 2 3 4, and if I click on submit, then it says please match the requested format. So what it means that our format, the requirement is not satisfied. The required pattern is not satisfied here. Okay guys, getting? So in this way, we can check that whether the data entered by the user is correct or not. So it happens with the password field also. So suppose if I give here 1 2 3 4 5, and now if I click on the submit, then it says that the password is not matching. So now let's see what is the requirement of the password here. So first of all, we have to enter A to Z capital characters. So now if I enter capital A, okay, after that we have to underscore and 0 to 9 3 times. So capital A underscore 1 2 3. So now if I click on this submit, it is going to save my password for the username. Guys, getting? So this in this way we can check whether the data entered by the user is up to the mark or not, whether it is required or not. Okay guys, so now let's move to the next part. So before that, let me copy the code for my further reference. So this one was example 1. So now my next part is inline form is completed. Now let's move to the horizontal form. What is this horizontal form? So now our next topic is horizontal forms. Horizontal forms. Horizontal form. So now let me once again open this VS Code, my VS Code, and type here practically that what is this horizontal form and how it works. So once again I'm going to give HR, and here I'm going to give center H1 TT, and here I'm writing working with form tags, working with form tags, working with form tag. After this H1 I'm going to give an HR, one BR, and one as again HR. So after this closing center tag, I am opening a center tag, and here in this center tag, I am going to write field set, field set legend. I am going to give legend, and in this legend I am writing horizontal form. So now, okay, so now let's see how our output appears here. So our output is something like this. Horizontal form is coming in the center this time. So here I'm going to make form tag, and direction we don't require right now. We required method is equals to get right now, and here in the form label, once again I am putting it as username, and here user name, and here input I am taking as input. Type is equals to text. Once again I am putting placeholder as enter your enter your username, enter your username. One BR I am giving here, another BR here, another label I am opening. Label for this time I am giving as password, and here also I am putting password, and here input type is equals to I am putting as password. Placeholder I am putting as enter your password, enter your password, and here after this input I am putting as required, and here also after this placeholder I am putting required. So this required, what is this required field here? We will check. So after this I want to provide a BR, another BR. Here input I am opening an input box. Type is equals to I am giving as submit, and here value is equals to I am providing as login. So now let's check how it appears on the screen when I run this code. So now our form is something like this. So here suppose I am I'm not entering any data here. So directly if I am clicking on this login, what it shows please fill out this field. So right now suppose I am entering developer at the rate 123. So password, this time I'm not putting the password. So now let's see what it shows. It shows please fill out this field. So why this message is appearing? Because here we put the required. This required is is tempting the HTML that this field is at most necessary. Means this field has to be you cannot keep this field empty and go to login. Okay, this is horizontal form. Okay, so now let me copy this whole code and paste to our notepad for the further reference. This one was our example one. This was our example one. So here I'm pasting it. So here this one is vertical form. So once again, let me open my VS Code and see how this vertical forms works. Okay. So now Let me open the VS Code. So my HR here, once again HR I am opening, then center tag, and then in the center tag H1 TT I am putting as, here I am writing working with a form tag, working with form tag, working with form tag. Here once again I am putting an HR, one BR and one more HR. After that here I am putting as field set. I am putting field set here, and here in the legend part I am going to give legend part. Here I am giving which type of form we are reading here, vertical, no? So vertical login form. So now if I run this code, let's see how our output appears. Here is vertical login form. So here once again at the center I am opening form tag. I'm putting as method is equals to, this time I'm putting get method here, and here I am putting as label for username, and here I'm putting as user name, then input I'm giving type is equals to text, placeholder is equals to, I'm writing enter your username, and here I'm putting required. So here I'm going to give one BR here, after that one BR here, and once again I'm putting label here for password, and here label I'm going to give as password, then here I'm giving input type is equals to password, then here placeholder I'm giving as enter your password required. Okay guys, so once again BR I'm giving one more BR here, and input type is equals to, I am putting a submit, and value I am putting it as a login. So now if I run this code, let's see how our output appears. So our output is something like this. This is my vertical login form. So now if I click here, it will show me the message that please fill out this field. This is coming because of the required field here. Okay. So now suppose here I entered developers, and here right now I'm not entering anything, then it is going to show me the same message because of this required field, because of this required field. So now suppose here I'm entering a underscore 123 and click on this login button. So now our data is sent to the database. Okay guys,